making money with VectorVest, and that's to read a graph. And to do that, we looked at 4 tips to look for on a graph to help you determine when to sell. And you also learned how to minimize your losses using 2 very important risk management guidelines. At this point, you should have set a stop price for every stock currently in your portfolio. In today's lesson, you'll learn what we feel is the single most important thing when it comes to making money in stocks. The big idea of this lesson is to show you how to know when to buy and when not to buy. There's definitely times in the market when you should not be buying, but that isn't what you hear on TV, which is why I list it as the big mistake you need to avoid. A lot of places teach that the market doesn't have trends, so a lot of people make the big mistake of ignoring market direction. You may hear gurus on TV saying things like, it's always a good time to buy, or there's a bull market somewhere. While we agree that no one can predict the future, we know the market has trends, and it's important to react quickly to when the trends start and end. Today, you'll learn how to avoid this mistake and trade with the market on your side. So here's the game plan for today. First, you'll learn how to identify the trends of the market and the exact signals to use to tell you it's okay to buy. After that, we're going to talk about the 3rd secret to making money with VectorVest. I'm still not going to tell you what it is just yet, but just know I'll give you something simple you can do in 5 minutes each day to make sure you're prepared for the next day. And then we'll finish up today with action items for you to take. All right, well, let's get right to it. So here's a look at the market over the past 15 or so years. And perhaps you held stocks or mutual funds through the dot-com bubble and its subsequent burst. Or maybe when the housing bubble burst, or through the global financial crisis. Now, if we just look at 2008, the average mutual fund dropped over 40%, and the S&P dropped over 38%. The reason I bring this up is I need you to understand that if you lose 40%, you need to gain 66% just to get back to break even. And for many people, that takes years to recover from. So even in a case like this, when the market had this strong rally, a lot of people were spending most of this time just making back losses that were suffered back here. Now, some people say, well, you can't time the market. Well, you can't predict the market. Even though the market on a daily basis may have ups and downs, if you look at the big picture, like you're looking at right here, you can clearly see major trends in the market. I mean, look at this. Major trend here, major trend, major trend, major trend, right? And you can even see some smaller trends within these bigger trends. Now, if you just look over here, look at that. It might not look like a lot here, but that lasted several months, as did this, and so on. Now, surprisingly, you don't hear this information from the talking heads on TV. Our goal here at VectorVest is to get you out of the market near market tops and get you back into the market near market bottoms. Will we nail the exact peak of the market and get you back into the market at the exact bottom? Probably not, but it'll be close enough to protect your portfolio and give you frequent opportunities for some substantial gains. Today, you'll learn how to only buy when the market is rising and not buy when the market is falling. So let's learn how to do it. Something I'll never forget is when Dr. DeLito, the founder of VectorVest, came to me and said, Brian, you don't need to know how an engine works to drive a car, do you? You just turn the key, put it in drive, and go. Why do I bring that up? Well, I don't want you to get bogged down in all the nitty-gritty details of the rules of the market timing signals. That information is in other documents and in the help file. Remember, the first secret of making money with VectorVest is to keep it simple. The important thing is, I want you to know what to look for to tell you whether it's okay to buy stocks or not. In other words, I want to teach you how easy it is to drive the car. So let's move out of the slides and move into VectorVest so you can see how to do it. Alright, here we are in VectorVest, and I'm on the Graphs tab, and I'm going to open up our market timing graph. So I'm just going to click on Stock and go to Market Timing. Now the default market timing graph has 4 things on it, and we're just going to focus on one of them for now. All right, so I'm just going to uncheck these other 3, and I'm going to leave what's called the VectorVest Composite, or the VVC, on the chart. This VVC is an indexed average of all the stocks that we track. It's an excellent representation of the overall market. It moves up when the market moves up, it moves down when the market moves down, and when the market just moves sideways, it moves sideways. This VVC has an incredible track record of accurately identifying the market's direction. Because we want to simplify your goal of buying low and selling high, what we do is we look at the day-over-day and week-over-week movement of this VVC. And just to keep things simple, if this VVC were to move higher day-over-day and week-over-week, that's when it's going to generate what we call a green light. And let's do this. I'm just going to pull this out just a little bit, just so we can clearly see what I'm talking about. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come down here and add our green lights to this graph. Now you can see as the market was rising, you got more and more of these green lights appearing. As good as those signals were, one thing that Dr. DeLito noticed was that green lights would still appear when the market was getting toppy. As you can see here, when the market was kind of topping off, there's still a couple of green lights focusing in or appearing there. Over here as well, there's a couple that still kind of trickled in there. So to make sure that we were managing those quote-unquote false green lights, we used one of our proprietary indicators, which you learned about in the first lesson, called RT, which stands for relative timing. And it looks at the short-term price trend. Again, without getting bogged down in all the nitty-gritty details, basically we just put moving averages on that indicator, and it let us know when the market was losing momentum. If the market was losing momentum, we knew to ignore any green lights that appeared during that time. So let me just show you the end result. So just keep your eyes on the times when the market was getting toppy and moving down, like here and over here, and I'm going to show you the end result. I'm going to switch this to the RT kicker. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Do you see how the green lights disappeared here? Now technically they still occurred, but using this timing system, it's telling us that we should not have paid attention to those. So with this RT kicker signal, you can see you've basically only got these green lights or bullish signals when the market is rising. Believe it or not, that was the hard part. Let's make it even easier for you. I don't want you to worry about coming in here and looking at this graph every single night. We do the work for you and tell you what to do every night over here on the Home tab. So when I go to the Home tab, it actually brings us to the third secret of making money with VectorVest, and that is to heed the color guard. So again, we do all the work for you, and we tell you right here what to do every single night. So right here on the Home tab, we've got the market timing gauge and this color guard. Every day, this market timing gauge will tell you whether the market is bullish or bearish and give advice on whether you should be buying or not be buying. And remember, I said I was going to keep things simple and give you just a 5-minute prep to get you ready for the next day. So all you need to do, open up VectorVest to this Home tab. Look at this market timing gauge and read the advice. And if you want a very simple thing, in addition to this market timing gauge to look for, come right down here to the color guard and you see this first column that says price. And you see how there's colors in this column? If you see a green light for the most recent day, that's a good sign that it's okay to be buying stocks. If you see a green light with a little star next to it, well, that means that that uptrend has more momentum. And we just discussed that on a graph. So a green light is good. Green light with a star means an even stronger uptrend. So to keep things simple, if you just look at this Home tab and only buy if you see a green light or a green light with a star, and then just make sure that the market is moving up at the time you buy your stock, and your stock is moving up when you buy your stock, you're putting the odds of success in your favor. Remember, you need to know when to buy and when not to buy, and you get that information right here on the Home tab, because it'll tell you whether you should be buying or not be buying. And again, look right here in this price column, and if you see a green light or a green light with a star, that's telling you it's okay to be buying as long as the market continues to move up when you're buying your stocks. Oh, and by the way, if you see something like this, reds and reds with stars, that's telling you it's not a good time to be buying. And in fact, we say it very clearly right up here. VectorVest does not advocate buying any stocks at this time. But one of the great things about VectorVest is we actually love downturns, because all you have to do is wait, check it each day, and then when you see that first green light and a green light with a star, you're ready for some explosive profits, because you're getting in right near those market bottoms. All right, let's recap the major points from today, and then we'll talk about what you should do right now. The first thing that we looked at is that the market does have trends. Number 2 was that you should look for a green light or a green light with a star in that price column of the color guard. By doing this and only buying stocks when you see that, you're putting the odds of success in your favor, and it's putting you on the way to success. All right, so that brings us to what you should do right now. Let's look at our action items. Number 1, go back and look at your past trades and actually compare the dates that you bought those stocks to what the market conditions were in VectorVest, what we were saying the market conditions were in the VectorVest product. Let me show you how to do that. So I'm going to go back into VectorVest. All right, if you've got a past trade and you want to see what we were advising on that day, simply go up to the tab right here that says Views, click on it, and there's a calendar right here at the top. So let's say you had a stock that you were buying back here on September 15th. So I'll go back to September 15th. If I scroll down here, you can read what we were saying in the color guard. So this first paragraph says what the price column was. So right here it'll say it turned red compared to last Monday's yellow. Now if you want a more visual, you can continue to scroll down. And actually before you get to the visual, it'll give you the summary and a strategy. So on that day we were saying prudent investors should not be buying stocks. Aggressive investors play the market to the downside. Then as I scroll down, here's that color guard. So the same colors you would have seen on the home page at that time, and on that day there was a red light. So we would have said, hey, you shouldn't have been buying stocks. So go back and look at your past trades and compare dates that you bought the stock to what we were advising in VectorVest. All right, second action item. Number 2 is to watch the daily color guard report. This is about a 5-minute video, and it's great because you could just sit back, relax, drink a cup of coffee, and we'll talk to you about what our market timing signals are showing us and give our advice on what prudent and aggressive investors should be doing. To access that video, you can do it right from the Home tab, and let me show you how to do that. So right here on the Home tab, if you scroll down just a little bit, every night you're going to see a little video right here called the Daily Color Guard Report, and when you click on Watch the Video, it'll pop up the video, and it's usually about 5 to 10 minutes, and it'll walk you through all the information you need. Okay, so let's just do a quick summary of where we are right now. You learned how to weed the garden, so get rid of the bad stocks in your portfolio. You learned how to determine when it was the right time to be buying replacement stocks. So now when we get to lesson 4, you're going to learn how to find what stocks to buy. To do that, I'll give you a great cherry-picking checklist. This will help you easily find great stocks to buy. We're going to focus on 2 types of stocks. First off are going to be those stocks that are safe and steady risers. The second type are those high momentum stocks. By the time you're done with lesson 4, you'll know exactly what to look for. I can't wait to see you back here in lesson 4.